What's good, guys? Welcome to Chat at the Castle, your new favourite podcast for Disney adults and other fanatics. I'm Ash Valmont.
Hi!
There's the audio. Jesus.
I'm back, and we're back. I'm Mickey's best pal. I keep saying that. I might have changed my name at this point. Just call me Jordy.
Yeah. You and Mickey falling out, have you?
No, we haven't fallen out.
Has he got a new best pal?
Well, I think he already had Pluto.
Yeah, true.
And I kind of, exactly. You know what? Quick tangent. I said that I was Mickey's best pal to Pluto at the Royal Banquet in Paris. Bro, he wasn't mad, he was sad.
Yeah.
He walked like...
He's not mad, he's just disappointed.
He put his ears in front of his eyes and walked off with his head down. I was like,
Rip.
I feel awful.
Yeah.
Like,
He'll never get over that.
No, so then I was like, you're his dog best friend, I'm his human best friend, we're good. But yeah, we are back. We are back. And this episode is all about nerding out.
Hell yeah.
In general, embracing it.
We are pros at it.
Yeah, we are. But I haven't always been. I haven't always been. I'll own up to that, and that's what we're going to talk about, I guess, throughout this episode, and a bit of our content creation journeys and where we are, the things we love, and then hopefully in the comments, guys, you let us know the things you love, and then it's going to be a little bit interactive in that sense. But
I agree, because we're going to delve into some specific fandoms today, and we want you guys to tell us your favourite fandoms, so we can do future episodes about those.
Because we are both big nerds, so there's a chance that if not both of us, at least one of us will have somewhat of a knowledge on that fandom, and we can explore it. And I think it'd be quite fun as well in the situation where we have one of us that's really into it and the other one that is like hearing everything with fresh ears and seeing it with fresh eyes and not really almost learning, you know.
Education episodes.
Because if we do have people listening who aren't really educated on that fandom, it's like I can be Ben in that. I can ask a question, you know what I mean? So and I guess we're going to kick off, and I'll go on a little bit what I was talking about then, and embracing the things that we love without shame. I have always done it, but I wasn't always this kind of forthright and upfront about my love for Disney and Mickey Mouse and stuff like that. Because I love a lot of different things, and growing up, like I was very much into football and stuff like that, and that kind of was a predominant force of what I presented to the world of what I was obsessed in.
Polar opposite, yeah. I could not be less into football and things like that at all. Not into the manliest pursuits, that's for sure. There was a grown up northern.
I mean, if you can call football manly, I think it's a bit of a stretch, but I definitely. I mean, I was a huge Newcastle fan, but growing up until a certain age, where I started worrying about whether people thought I was cool or not. I was very much upfront about my love for Mickey Mouse and my love for Disney. I think probably secondary school. Yeah,
pretty classic, isn't it? You have to like join the squad, the cult, the popular things in high school to fit in and all that jazz.
Which I did do, but also I did drama. Like I was Peter Pan in the school play. I sang and danced. So I don't know. I think maybe it was like I did all that. It was like I do also like football.
You were Troy Bolton in your way through high school.
Yeah, I was very much Troy Bolton in my way through.
Did you sing Scream at any point in the hallways?
Yeah. Bet on it on the top pitch.
Perfect. Yeah, I was fortunate in my school. I talk about this a lot. So obviously you look at just media, American movies, even British movies, the cool kids are always the kind of, the sports ones or whatever. The kids are into like pop music and stuff like that.
Jocks and the cheerleaders.
Yeah, essentially. My high school was kind of different. Yeah, there was people into football and stuff, but I think because there was so many of us, the kind of more rock kids, I say rock, it was like Fall Out Boy, so kind of gateway rock. Were the popular kids. Yeah. So like I pretty much dressed like this in high school, but I was one of the popular kids, well known just because there was probably so many of us. We won with like overwhelming numbers rather than like it being the most mainstream things we were all into. So I was fortunate in that respect. I was very able to more nerd out. Back then it would have been things more probably Marvel comics, Star Wars, rock music, those kind of things more than Disney, so to speak. But people knew of my love for Disney because I used to go on holiday to Walt Disney World pretty much.
I think that was the same thing with me. I think people knew it was there, and if people knew it was under the surface. And if you asked all of my friends who kind of I knocked about with, they would have told you I was a big nerd.
Yeah.
They were like, because I still loved like superheroes.
And gaming as well, which we're going to talk about.
Exactly.
Gaming was a big one, yep.
So they would have called me, compared to them, they would have been like, yeah, he's definitely a big nerd. But I think the way I kind of presented myself, I wasn't necessarily embracing that as much. I was a theatre kid, if anything. I wasn't kind of a nerdy kid. So I was like in that, Troy Bolton, a little fantasy that I was living. Football though, not basketball. I actually did High School Musical.
So ironic considering you're about 8 foot tall.
We spoke about this actually. I played Chad, didn't I? Yeah, hilarious. But we can move on from that.
Swiftly.
And yeah, so embracing it without shame, I think that was the thing. And as I've got older, mainly meeting my wife, meeting Jay, and I've said this before on kind of previous things that I've been on, is I stopped caring about pretty much what everyone else apart from one person thought.
Got it now, don't need to worry about it.
Yeah, I was like, as long as Jay...
Got a contract.
If Jay comes to me and says that she's not happy about the way I've been acting or something or whatever, that I would care about that. But anybody that wasn't Jay, I'm just like, I don't care what you all think. Like, it doesn't. I'm not trying to impress anyone anymore. And it was very freeing, and I think that is from that kind of moment, it started to re-embrace things that I loved from when I was younger. WWE being one, Disney films being one. I mean, when me and Jade got together, there was a number of Disney films that I hadn't seen because I just wasn't going to go and watch them on my own as a single lad. Like, I was very much in that kind of culture as well. It was.
Yeah, because you do come, like, for viewers and listeners' benefits, you come from like a very northern town, obviously a small town, quite old school industry. You go from high school to industry and stay there for the rest of your lifetime. It's quite that. It's that classic, like, almost small town America vibe you see in movies.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's probably a lot of that.
Yeah, it was just a bit.
And it's a very like, tell me if I'm wrong. It's like a quite masculine working class kind of lads vibe, isn't it?
100%. Yeah.
So I totally get that. Yeah, totally.
Which of course, like, and again, I was never quite within that mold because, like, they were fixing cars in year 9 and I was tap dancing, so I never quite fit into but I also was still part of that group. But the football helped with the tap dancing, funnily enough. But yeah, I think like films like Tangled, Moana, Frozen. I knew of them and I knew of the songs. I'd never sat down and watched them. And I think part of it was because, like, I didn't want to do it on my own. I was like, I should be watching this with someone. I shouldn't be.
Yeah, I love going to the movies by myself.
Oh yeah, I get it. I do get that. I think with it being Disney, I think there was probably a little bit of myself that was like, no, I'm not. Maybe subconsciously saving it till I had someone to watch them with.
I'm glad we've broken you out of that now.
Yeah. And absolutely. There was a few exceptions. Like The Lion King, the live action one, when that came out, I went to watch that with my mum. And there was definitely a few exceptions. I didn't shun Disney. I didn't embrace it in the same way that I did kind of up until I was about 13, 14, until, me and Jay got together, and then I just started embracing it all again. Went to the park for the first time, went to Paris for the first time that I'd been in about 10 years. Got engaged, fell in love with it all again, and just now I just can't get enough of it. It's almost like I'm catching up on lost time a little bit. I think I'm doing a fairly good job of it.
Maxing it out, yeah.
But yeah, I'm interested to know, because like I said, that's me. That's the way that I did it. But it sounds like you were a little bit more. You didn't fully lose contact with it. You didn't shun it as much as I did.
Yeah, I guess so. So. Similar vibing. I guess the teenage years I probably had less to do with Disney, but I was still always a fan. But yeah, I was heavily into things like gaming, rock music, comic book culture, that kind of stuff. So definitely have my nerdy fandoms. And yeah, it was quite cool throughout. Like, I've never really been like mocked or judged for those that you do get in some like schools and things like that. So I've been quite fortunate in that respect. And I always describe my time, even at university. So I had long hair, obviously, like quite an outlandish dress sense, still to this day, but even more so then probably. And I wear like makeup and things like that, eyeliner heavily. So I was always quite out there. But It's quite funny. You see in some, and again, I'm going back to this American like teen movie metaphor I keep using. You always have like the main jocks, and I think like She's All That has a really good example of this. You've got like the main jocks, and then you've got like their friend who's not a jock, but he's like the comedic friend who's cool. He's like hangs out with them, but he's a bit weird and quirky, kind of like the Lee Jordan in Harry Potter. If for those who are fans, like the one who's not a jock, but he's like adjacent to him. That was kind of me at uni. Like I was. On a Wednesday night at British universities, you have sports night where all the sports team get into the nightclub 2 hours early and drink loads, right? It would always be like the cheerleaders, the netball team, the American football team, the football team, and like me. And that was kind of my vibe. So I've always been like my quirky self and happy to show that. But I was very, very fortunate. I was always quite accepted for that, really. And then starting TikTok in 2020 and that just blowing up as it did, a big, big, big point of pride to this day, whether it comes to like accepting sponsorships or causes I talk about, whatever it is, was my main point was always pure authenticity, me, it's me. Everything I do is me. I'll never put on like a persona unless I'm cosplaying one or be fake about stuff. And that was really well received. Obviously, I blew up quite quickly on TikTok and got a lot of support for that authenticity and just being myself no matter what. So that just reinforced that for me that was the right thing to do, I guess.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And it's starting creating content is like it's a moment I think where it's like you've just let everything go, right? And you're just like, I'm gonna do it.
Particularly at the time I was in when I started TikTok as well, it was a moment of intense vulnerability for me. I was in a really bad way, and I started TikTok when COVID started. I started it as a way to basically make myself laugh when I was really down after a breakup and stuff like this, and then being locked in the house. It resonated, and a big early focus of my content was like mental health stuff, and just being completely emotionally vulnerable about everything I was going through. And obviously, people are always going through the same, so it resonated with the viewers. Authenticity and that vulnerability to say this is who I am. Hope to find people who are into that stuff too. And if you don't like me for it, I'll live.
I think that's it, and I think that is such an important view to have, and it's such a great mindset to have. And I think that's where I was a little bit like, I was accepted. Yeah. Not without comments.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Do
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was accepted, but like if anything, like it's almost like I felt
I always tried to be cool at uni and
quite
things
often
try and come across that
the butt of the joke because I was the one in the group that was doing shows. I was doing this, so like I felt accepted, and I absolutely love all my friends. Did you make support?
Did they go to your shows?
Yeah.
Sick. See, I love that.
They did, in fairness.
And I think that's the way with lads, isn't it? We'll roast each other, but we'll support each other.
Absolutely. If an outside person outside of my group started trying to make comments towards me, the 7 lads would descend on them. I was their person to take the piss out of.
Exactly,
not anyone else's.
It's like, no, we can take the piss, you can't.
And that's the thing as well, I can take the piss just as easy out of them. So I did ask for it sometimes. And I just had such easy things to go at. But yeah, I think then the content creation stuff, I didn't start with Disney content. I started with wrestling content.
Harry Potter for me.
Following Money in the Bank 2022. I tried to start a YouTube channel in lockdown.
Me too.
There you go. I just had a bit of I think I was doing quite well, and then work really picked up. We both hate editing.
Despise it.
So,
is there any editors out there who want to like work with us on this, please?
Please.
We have a very low budget and terrible content, if that appeals to you.
High production, though.
High production value, yeah.
Yeah, high production value, just low budget. But if you want to be a part of something brilliant, then give us a shout. But yeah, I hated editing. So it was always like a roadblock. But then I walked out of the O2 Arena after watching Money in the Bank, and I was like, I'm going to start creating wrestling content. And it was memes. It was very much, it was a page called WrestleManiacs. It wasn't my name, not my face. I made a logo.
Great username, by the way. I'm amazed that was available.
Yeah, WrestleManiacs. So do you know why it was good? It was WrestleManiacs with an X. So it looked like WrestleMania X.
Nice.
It was great. The memes did really well. I got like millions of views, but it wasn't me.
Yeah.
I was hiding behind the logo. Nobody knew who I was. Started working with Wrestling Republic, and they were such, and still are. Shout out to those guys that are great help for me, kind of going from WrestleManiacs into what was called Jordy in the Bank, because I taped over a briefcase and just written Jordy on it. See, high budget. But then from that, started doing podcasts, started speaking to other people, and that was really the first moment of, oh my God, this is a group of like 15 people. We all love the same thing. We're all trying to achieve the same thing. We're all striving towards it. I'm not on my own. Finding people, same age group, sometimes a little bit younger, sometimes a little bit older, but have that same love for the thing that I loved, whereas my close friends don't, unless I'm talking about football.
Yeah.
So to be able to find that, it was just amazing. We went on our honeymoon. I came back from that, and that's when Nikki's best pal came into fruition.
When you refound that love of Disney, as you say, when you went to, was it Paris? You said you went to?
No, we went to Paris to get engaged. We got married and went to Walt Disney World. But when we went to Paris, I uploaded 2 reels on my normal Instagram page, personal private one. And that's got like 600 followers. It's nothing. But both of them did one of them did 30k views, one of them did 15k views. And I should have at that point thought, I'm onto something here, but I didn't. I just carried on with the wrestling stuff. When we went to Orlando, and this is why it's kind of making the best of a bad thing, I got sacked like literally about 2 weeks after coming back from a honeymoon for the complete unfair reason. I won't go into it, but I was on cloud 9, got back from, you all know the Disney blues. So I had a bit of that, and then bang, you've lost your job. But they did give me 3 months of pay. I had a lot of spare time, and I had about 2,000 photos and videos from Walt Disney World. So I was like, right, okay,
good use,
I'm going to do it. I came up with an idea of Mickey's best pal and locked it down. That was when we were in Walt Disney World, actually. I was on a bus, and I think Mickey had signed something that said your best pal. And I was like, oh,
it's
okay.
fact. I've got it written down. Yeah, I can prove it.
I looked if their username was free. It was, so I locked it down at that point. I was like, I'm going to start making Disney content. And then originally I was just following Mickey. I don't know if you followed me at that point.
No, but you've told me about the challenge you did. It was like, how many followers going to get just following Mickey Mouse?
Just following Mickey Mouse. And the second video I uploaded of that, I had 8 followers, and it said followers 8. How many? And that did 300,000 views and got me about 5,000 followers.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so then I was just like launched into this thing of like, oh no.
And I remember those early days when the same thing happened to me, where I blew up really quickly. You wake up and you're like, you don't know what to do you? Like, what? It's a really, really weird feeling.
Yeah, I did not, I think I hit 10K within by Feb, March, something like that. And I was like, this was supposed to be in 3 years I was going to hit 10K. And I was like, I don't know what to do with this. So it is a little bit overbearing at first, and it's
exciting and scary at the same time.
Yeah, 100%. When you think the O2 Arena can fit I think it's 8,000 in, and I've got 12,000 following me now, and that's terrifying. Right?
You're right. I think the floor of the O2 is less than 10K.
Yeah, so if they filled the O2 and I'd be stood there hey, it's a terrifying thought. So I was just a bit I can no longer just post the same video saying I'm following Mickey Mouse and only Mickey Mouse. I have to start doing it properly, and I wanted to, because people would message me, I'd speak to them and then my algorithm, my feed was nothing. It was just,
because you were just following Mickey.
Yeah, it was just companies, and it was just adverts. So I was just so that's when I started following people back. And now pretty much we're here. Obviously we met each other, and I think this is a perfect example of what can happen.
The friends you make through content creation. Yeah, I'm the same. Because going back to when we were younger and the friends we had then, I'd say I was always supported, but I mean, God love them, the group of friends I had back home, because I don't live where I grew up anymore. I don't speak to any of them anymore, really. All of the friends I have nowadays are found friends, absolutely. And I would say 99% of them are through content creation. I've got 2 friends who are from my OG home days, who I still see. One of them even works for me. Both of them now work for me, actually. The other one just signed a contract the other day. So my 2 friends from back home that I still talk to both work for me now. And every other friend I have is from the world of content creation, or found through that route.
Yeah, and that, like I say, I mean, we wouldn't be sat here doing this podcast. This is the thing about the butterfly effect in a way. And honestly, we nearly didn't film the video of me being Roman Reigns in Disneyland Paris.
That's where I spotted you.
Yeah, and it was so close, and I was just like, oh, actually, let's do it because I can walk around this corner. You go stand there. Let's do it. That did about 500K. Then I got Mickey to throw the ones up, and then that did numbers because Paul Heyman reposted it. And that's how we met. So it's something like if I'd have gone, now let's just leave it. We might not be sat here doing this. So
it's the same with me. The reason I'm where I am today, because I've got about 340,000 followers now. And what got me to that point in the early days, as I was Harry Potter content. I became known as Sirius Black from Harry Potter. I cosplayed him and I basically became TikTok's Sirius Black, which is a huge honor. Still love that dude, despite moving away from Harry Potter for obviously moral reasons due to the author. But so that's what happened. But how it kind of all came to be, I was doing all right on TikTok anyway. I had like 10,000 followers, and that was purely from mental health content and just being me and just talking about random stuff, right? And I used to do 2 live streams every day on TikTok. I used to do one at lunchtime and then one of an evening, right? Every day. In the early days. And then I did one at lunch and I said, right guys, I'll see you later. And bear in mind, I had like 5 people in these streams, 5 to 10 people in these streams. They weren't big live streams. It was single digits, right? But like, because I'd done it every day, me and these 5 to 10 people would chat every day. So I did my lunchtime one and I said, right guys, I'll see you later for tonight's live stream. All right. And logged off. And then that afternoon, I must have had food poisoning or something. I was feeling really unwell, right? Yeah. And it got to, I was going to go live at like 10 p.m. or something. I used to live stream from bed, and I'd put a movie on, and we'd just have a kind of a cozy chat with the live stream. And that was the vibe. It was cozy movie chat live streams I used to do of an evening. And I was on FaceTime to, I think it was either a friend or a girl I was seeing at the time or something like that. And I was like, I'm feeling really ill. I don't know if I can do the live stream. And she was like, oh, if you're ill, just don't do it. Like, it's fine. Just like skip the live stream. And I was like, no, I promised these 5 people I'm going to do a live stream, right? So I did. I logged into the live stream to, these 5 people. And in that, a friend of mine now called Gracie Matrix, who was a huge content creator at the time. She had about 140,000 followers, was well known for playing Lily Potter, cosplaying Lily Potter from Harry Potter. Joined the stream. I was like, yo, have you ever thought of cosplaying Sirius Black? I was like, no, but he was one of my favorite characters from the books. Like, that sounds cool. Next day, I posted a Sirius Black video, and then 3 months later, I had 350,000 followers. It kind of rocketed from there. But again, if I'd been like, I'm feeling unwell, I'm not going to live stream, who knows where I'd be. Yeah, no, that's mad. That is mad. I'm glad you spoke about cosplay because I've actually got that as a topic. Sweet. That's what I was known for in the early days. Yeah, so I've seen you Sirius Black. I've seen, not in person, but I've seen you Loki. And that is like, the photos are incredible, man. They're absolutely incredible. Loki's a fun one to play, what's the experience of that? I've never been to a Comic-Con. I've done with you know the wall stuff, but so I've done it at an event. But what's it like at a Comic-Con? What, in terms of cosplaying or just being at a Comic-Con? Cosplaying, I mean, Loki in particular, walking around with them big horns on your head. Like, is it? Do you find yourself constantly having to like retouch up your costume or some of them? Yeah. So I've worn a variety of cosplays over the years, from a Spider-Man one, which is obviously all encompassing and it takes 45 minutes to go to the bathroom. Through to Sirius Black, which is essentially a shirt and a waistcoat. It's really easy. Yeah, and it's basically just me in a waistcoat. So the full gamut of cosplays. Yeah, the Joker, Heath Ledger's Joker, I did with the full face, like I've done that prosthetics. So that's a lot. And Loki, the giant horns. I was very pleasantly surprised. Were very, very light. So they were actually brilliant until I broke them on day 2. But before that, they were brilliant. Yeah. Did you buy that helmet? As is? The Loki one. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It was painted, hand painted by one of our producers actually. Okay. But it came just plain black horns and then all the gold cracking veins from Loki season 2, for those who haven't seen it. Were hand painted on, That's awesome, man. Yeah. I have to see it in person sometime. And we have said that we'll try and do Thor and Loki at some point. We absolutely have to. But Comic-Con in general, being in cosplay is a fantastic experience. Spider-Man was my favorite. So Spider-Man is my most expensive cosplay. It's about £1,000. Yeah, and that was in
Wowzers.
the early days. I think I'd been going about 6 months on TikTok at that point. Very early days. It was completely custom. It's from Australia. It's handmade to my exact body measurements at the
Oh,
time.
wow.
I don't know if I can fit in it now, but I'm getting there. It's custom made. It takes a long time to get in, a long time to get out, and it is movie accurate. I think it's made by some of the same guys who did Tobey Maguire's.
Oh, wow.
They do a full range.
I was about to say, which suit was it?
Yeah, so I got Tobey Maguire's one because that's the one I grew up with.
Right, yeah.
But the thing I love about that's my favorite cosplay
Okay.
because I had my favorite experience ever at a con in that cosplay. It was at Birmingham Comic Con, and for me to get from like where I am to like this camera would take about 45 minutes because I would be just stop. But it was by like kids and or parents being like, "Yo, can you like take a photo with my kid?" And that's what it's all about for me, like making kids' days. My favorite like videos in terms of cosplay are like the princesses, and Make-A-Wish. Make-A-Wish is my favorite charity. So like princesses meeting kids and like superheroes meeting kids and stuff like that.
John Cena meeting kids.
John Cena meeting kids has done more Make-A-Wishes than anyone else on the planet.
Yes, indeed.
So yeah, that's what it's all about for me. And that Spider-Man day where I was just like meeting kids and I was fully in character, obviously. And I love that.
Yeah, no. I guess I can kind of relate there with the Walt Disney stuff because it's
people crying and all.
Yeah, I did it for me at first. I'm not gonna lie, it was for me. At this point, anytime I put that suit on, it's not for me anymore.
Yeah.
It's for the people that see me in the park. And,
that's a really good way of putting it. It's the same with just pressing like record on TikTok. It got taken away from, as I say, I started it to like make myself laugh and save my own life during a period of depression. And we've talked about this before. Obviously, the messages I've had from it's saved other people's lives, which is crazy to think about from TikTok. But
and
it's
a lot to.
I think we should do an episode about that at some point because it's a big topic that we don't have time to cover today. But at one point in that journey, it stopped being about me and started being about everyone else. 100%.
And I think that is when it is this crossover point. But then, especially for you in that situation, I guess with the Walt stuff, it's slightly different. But you can't forget about yourself. Do you know what I mean? You can't get to a point where you're fully just prioritizing them and diminishing your own health. And
back to what we said earlier about authenticity, you've still got to be yourself.
You need to look after yourself.
And that was a journey. As I say, I grew on TikTok so quickly. You can imagine what it's like going from essentially 0 to 350,000.
Exactly. It was mad for me going to 0 to 10 in 6 months. So I can't even imagine what 300 would feel like.
And during 2020 as well, where it was like lockdown and stuff. So you've got no real life feedback mechanisms. It's you in your house, and the only feedback you've got is through a screen, essentially. So, I learned a lot of lessons on not looking after myself, when to put up boundaries, when to all that stuff over a couple of years. But certainly in that first 3 months, it's a real adjustment. When lockdown ended, I went into lockdown as myself. No social media profile whatsoever. Came out of lockdown and I couldn't walk down the street without getting stopped.
Wow.
Yeah, genuinely. So every time I left the house, say this happened for the first week after lockdown forever, after a point I started being like, damn, I can't leave the house in sweats to go to Tesco. Yeah. I have to leave in full Ash Valmont regalia. I've got to go in my makeup, my hair done, and because I'm going to get spotted, I'm going to get photos taken of me. I have to be in character 24/7. Not that it's a character, it's still me, but I have to be Ash Valmont 24/7.
I know what you mean. It's an exaggerated version of yourself,
exactly.
isn't it?
I have to be the person I am to my audience 24/7. So I started spending more time in the house at one point because I was like, I don't have the energy to get ready to go out, whereas previously I could just go out looking like trash. So that was a big adjustment for sure. Yeah,
I can imagine. I've not quite got to that point. I've had people stop me and stuff, but only at parks.
Luckily it's died down a bit now, but it was a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some people stopped me at Disneyland Paris and didn't even realise who I was dressed as, but still wanted to get a photo with me and the whole family. And I was like,
I love that.
It's quite clear. I've got a name badge. It's quite clear who I am. But no, I think it's amazing. I think we need to go to a con together. I think we need to find some. I guess the cosplays that I've done that I don't think have you seen me as Negan?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did Negan, I've done the Joker, I've done Walt Disney, and I think that's it. I don't think there's anybody. You could.
Did John Cena on your stag?
I was about to say you could kind of say John Cena, because I wore the full Cena get up to the knee pads and everything, and I did that when we went to watch Money in the Bank, without knowing he was going to be there.
Of course, yeah.
And he showed up, and I almost melted into the ground, and that was incredible. And that actually leads us in a nice little segue onto the next thing that I've got here, which is rediscovering WWE, because it's another fandom. It's a huge fandom, and that very much I just had put to bed in 2014, I think. I Attitude Era, grew up with it, loved it, stopped. Started again in about 2009.
Yeah.
Undertaker got beat at WrestleMania.
Stop watching.
And that was done.
Fair.
And I was like, I can't. It's just, and there was other stuff as well, but that was one thing. And I was just like, this is my last WrestleMania. WrestleMania 30, I believe it was. I was like, this is where I leave it. And that's that. Lockdown hits. And then I think, you know what? Don't want to give him credit, but Logan Paul, I saw a thing of him wrestling Roman, and I was like,
Logan Paul
WWE. I forgot about that. I started I got my subscription for the network back. I was like, I don't want to keep up with the old stuff, the new stuff, but I want to go back and watch the old stuff.
And that was back when it was all kind of on one channel as well.
It was its own streaming platform.
Now,
It was like Netflix. There was a WWE network. It had every PLE, every old episode of Raw, every episode of SmackDown. So I was just like, I'm just going to go back in lockdown, because I never watched it weekly when I was younger. Yeah. I would just watch the pay-per-views when they were on or whatever got fed to me as a kid. So I was like, right, you know what, I'm just going to start watching it again. And then through that, I got a want and a little, I want to see what's going on in the current day, what's happening. And I just joined at the perfect time when the bloodline was at its peak and Sammy was feeling oozy, and it was just, it was perfect. And now I don't see me ever letting it go, to the point where Jay watches it with me. She loves it. It's just...
We're going to watch it tonight, aren't we?
Yeah, we are, and there's something in it, and I've said this to you before, and I think there is. It's the cross of that Venn diagram, especially when I started creating Disney content when I was already a wrestling content creator. There's a huge crossover, one that I almost didn't realise.
I think that I know the reason for that. I saw it beautifully put not long ago. It's WWE is sports for theatre kids.
All right, yeah.
Is so true.
And that's why I thought it was a good idea that I would start wrestling. Yeah. I was like, why have I not done this before?
It's theatre at the end of the day. So WWE, obviously, spoilers, if you're 9 years old, WWE, they're not actually fighting each other.
Predetermined. So, it's not fake.
It's not fake. They do get injured, and it's very physical. But it's more like stunt work. It's stage fighting, essentially, right? It's the best way to put it. It is a sport for theatre kids.
When my dad said to me, because I said I was starting wrestling, blah, 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 and his exact words were, it's not real. And I said, why don't you come to training on Wednesday and I'll hit you with a chair.
Come to a moonsault.
Let me chop you. You tell me if that's not real.
Yeah, because I think we kind of bonded over this back. We met at pretty much the perfect time.
Yeah.
Because for those who don't know who aren't in the UK, so WWE, which if you know nothing about wrestling, is the biggest wrestling company on the planet. In the UK, all got put onto Netflix in January. So every live wrestling show, everything is on Netflix in the UK, right? And similarly, I grew up in the 90s, known as the Attitude Era, watching wrestling, was a huge fan. And bear in mind, I was 9 years old towards the tail end of the 90s. I would watch it in one of two ways, right? So my dad would record it on a VCR and I would watch it the next day. If it was like Raw or SmackDown, I don't think it was Raw or SmackDown. I don't think weekly shows the same as you. I think it was the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
So, and I used to have to beg my dad to pay the £10 or whatever it was for the pay-per-view, and then he would record it and I'd watch it the next day. Or if I was really lucky and I was at my childminder's house, they'd sometimes let me stay up and watch it, right?
Yeah.
Stopped, in the early noughties, because it was really difficult to watch in the UK. It was really difficult.
Sky, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on Sky, but a lot of it wasn't on Sky. And if you did want to watch it, you'd stay up really late. So that's how it came. But when it came back to Netflix in January, I was like, super easy access. I'm a grown up now. I can stay up late.
And if you don't, you can start watching, like,
and you can watch it next day.
You watch it next day straight away as soon as you wake up, so you don't worry about spoilers.
You don't have to remember about recording it, etc. Yeah, so I got back into it in January, fell in love with some of the old characters again. Obviously met you like a month later, and you were super into it, so we kind of bonded over that a little bit, yeah, for sure. But yeah, I understand the crossover between Disney and wrestling because it is a very theatrical. It's storyline based, it's drama,
it's the ability to suspend disbelief and just kind of let your imagination run free.
Stories are universal.
If you can't do that, Disney parks aren't for you.
And I saw
WWE isn't for you. Like if all you can watch is a WWE match and all you're thinking is, yeah, but I know it's predetermined. If you can't suspend that little bit of disbelief for a second, it isn't for you. But if you can, I would say that anybody should give it a go. I think it's one of the most challenging art forms that I've ever done, because it's like remembering a dance, but the key part of the dance you're remembering is you need to look like you're not doing a dance. You need to look like it's natural.
Yeah, it's not predetermined.
So like there's so many things when you start learning that like you're on the ground and it's like, right, I'm getting up to be clotheslined, but I've got up too quickly.
And you got to remember, if you accidentally get hit,
and they're just running at me.
Yeah, and if you get hit in the face, you've got to try and still remember your choreography. Like you can't get dazed.
And then throw in, you have to listen to the audience. You have to try to. So that's where I think you compare it to boxing.
It's improv.
Your one aim in boxing is beat up that person, don't get knocked out, and where it's just so many more things to take into consideration, so many different things in your mind. And
it's a similar vibe to like as a musician playing a concert. You understand? If your audience is thinking, or a comedian, stand-up comedian, like you're feeling the audience and their reactions to certain things and playing off that, leaning more into what they like, what they don't like, while maintaining your routine and what you should be sticking to. But in this case, you're getting thrown off things.
And that's the thing as well. Say we were in a wrestling match, my primary focus is to keep you safe.
Yeah, absolutely.
However, to the audience,
it's to hurt
it needs to look like I'm really trying to hurt you. So it's like it's just such a difficult thing, and that's why I love it. And
go back to the storyline piece as well. I saw, I think it was actually Triple H from WWE said. The thing that makes WWE wrestling so exciting is it's not the fight, it's the story, right? So, and he used Rocky as an example, right? He's like, if you watch Rocky, there's actually very little boxing goes on. It's about the story, right? And even if going into the Super Bowl, if you're an NFL fan last year, right? If you don't care about either of the two teams, it's whatever. But if you like hate one of the teams or love one of the teams, suddenly you are so much more invested. And it changes the dynamic of watching it as a fan dramatically. Absolutely.
Somebody said it might have been Jim Cornette was on about it once. It was like if you're driving down the street and you saw this big guy just beating up this smaller guy, and you for some reason you do keep watching, and you're like, "Wow, it's out of order. I feel like I should help." Then all of a sudden that little guy just reverses one and just starts beating up the big guy. You're going to go like, "Go on!" And it's like it's natural, like human thing to do. And that is the story. And I think, and then you go to the next show, you remember that little guy. He's your favorite guy now. You're invested. So whoever he's against, you don't like that other person.
That's what I say, man. Like, in my career, I'm a comms guy. I do communications and video and live streams and all that stuff. And what I say I work with very, very senior executives. I say, it's what you want to say is great, but what does the audience want to hear? My job is to take what you want to say and translate it into what they want to hear, man. It's story first and it's audience first. And I think that's where things like wrestling tie in so well with things like Disney, because no matter who you are, what culture, what time period you live in, story is transcendental. It reaches all of them. So everything from NFL to wrestling to Disney to TikTok, like it's story, audience, and
Taylor Swift,
and where they meet Taylor Swift.
Like her career has been a story.
The reason she connects, yes, her music's good, but it's the connection she has with people because they feel like they understand her story and she understands their story. With her, exactly.
I totally agree. And I guess that is quite a nice place to end it on the message that we wanted to put out.
Agreed.
Which is
firstly, before we come on to that, is if you have fandoms you want to talk about, let us know. And we'll do them in future episodes.
No, that was exactly what it was. It's basically that this will and always has now and always will be a safe space to explore them fandoms, to talk about them, to, I don't know, maybe somewhere down the line we will start a Discord and we will start a community and people can speak to each other, because that's something that I think is invaluable. I could list a bunch of names off the top of my head. I'm not going to, because I'll forget people and I'll feel bad, but easy on. I'm running out of fingers when I start thinking about within 12 months of having this page, friends that I've made, and people that I feel like are going to be friends for years and years to come because of that common love and because of that common ground. And when it comes to content creation, it's invaluable to have that people there to be like, send a video to and say, what do you think? Like, do you like this? Or like, what do you think about, or send 2 videos, which edit do you prefer? Like, do you know what I mean?
And collaborate. We look at us right now, like, yeah.
People who care as well, people who know, like, I know that like you do it for a job. So if like you create content for a living. So if I send you some content and I'm like, right, you're going to give me a educated answer as well as a supportive answer from being a friend. And I think having that kind of community and having that support system around you when creating content, because like we said earlier, it can be quite... it can
be lonely.
It can be lonely. It can be stressful. It can be like you give yourself a hard time, like you not feeling well and being like, I need to stream.
Having to push through,
I just think, I think having...
It's a tough gig. It is a tough gig. People think it's very easy. And don't get me wrong, it is easy most of the time to press record and film something. It's everything that comes with it that can be difficult and isolating and negative and things like that. I'm very fortunate about a very, very positive experience for pretty much all of it. But I know it certainly can be. And go back to what you're saying about it being a safe place, safe space, this podcast and hopefully the community we build around it. In the early days of Ash Valmont, community, I mean, to this day, community is everything, right? And that's where I always wanted to differentiate myself from big creators who just post content and throw it out there, right? For me, it was always about interacting with people who follow me and actually having a relationship and a community there. And through that, even if you're not creating content, you just want to nerd out about fandoms or consume content about that stuff, still having that community to talk about that stuff with. So in the Ash Valmont community, for example, people who met in my Discord, there's been weddings, there's been babies, there's been, one of them's literally middle named Ash. Love that. I think a couple of them actually. So yeah, it shows it's not just about getting in and talking about like Spider-Man. There can be real lifetime relationships built in these communities when it's a safe place to hang out. And that's what I love about it.
And that's what this will always be. If anybody is going to argue, it's going to be us two. And then that's the way we'll keep it. So yeah, that's the end of the episode. A bit of a different one, this one. Bit of a, not deep, but I think we need to open the door and let people know us, don't we?
Let them in.
Yeah, exactly. Let them in. And I think it's good to share these things. I think there's definitely things that you've said, I've said throughout this episode that it probably will resonate with people. They'll understand and have been in a similar situation. So it's not all laughs and jokes, guys. We can get serious from time to time.
Not for long.
Yeah, not for long. The next episode is much different. It is a what if episode.
Oh.
We're opening Pandora's box. So we're doing things like what if the Guardian songs got replaced by WWE theme songs? What if the Avengers came out in the 90s? Who would be the cast? They're two of the ones that we're gonna discuss, as well as a couple more. So we'll see you then. Don't forget to like.
I was gonna say if they like and subscribe.
Can't let you
forget your line.
If you don't like and subscribe,
you'll never know.
Don't come back.
You'll never know who would play the Avengers in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly. But
wasn't there an Avengers movie in the 90s?
Was there?
Yeah, trash. I don't know if it was the 90s. It may have been earlier, but there is a really, really bad Avengers movie that was. We'll talk about that in the next episode.
We'll have to have a look. But yeah, you guys, you go and get on with your day. I'm Jordy.
I'm Ash.
And thank you for watching Chat at the Castle. We'll see you next week.
Or listening.
Or listen. Yeah, or listen.
Bye.